Hello everyone. Welcome back. It's been a hot minute. I feel like I intro a lot of my videos like that, but it's been truly a while since I've seen you. You look so good. The last time I made a video, I was working with a contract in Vancouver. That contract has since ended and I've moved actually to a different city. Lots of things happening. I'm not going to get into it, but I have moved cities and I'm trying to get back into electrical. For those who don't know, I'm a third-year apprentice electrician and I took some years off in between. So it's been a long journey of my apprenticeship, and you know what, girl, I'm ready to be done. I want to get my journey. So excited to get back into it and just finish this thing. Do the damn thing. So that leads me to today's video, which is actually, I'm going to a job interview today, and so I figured why not jump right back into things with my process, how I got ready for this job interview, a little bit about the questions that they ask, etc., etc. I started my research by checking out the company website, and I really spent some time in the About Us section learning some history and what type of work they do at the company itself. Then I checked out relevant news articles and their social media to get a grasp of company culture. Then I went through each competency that was listed in the job description and came up with some personal examples of times where I have demonstrated that quality in previous jobs. Finally, I listed some personal questions that I had for them, as well as left a bunch of space for notes that I can take during the interview process. So this particular interview is a committee interview, and there will be 1 hour interview and then a knowledge test. So I brought out this old thing. This is the standard textbook of electricity that I had from college. I went through each chapter, and instead of reading the whole thing, because it's like 50 chapters, I just went to the end of each chapter and they had a little summary, and it was a good way to jog my memory on super basic stuff like voltage, amps, ohms, that kind of things, because I have no idea what they're going to actually ask. So I did run through a few refreshers on series versus parallel circuits, combination circuits, how to kind of solve those things. So I don't know what exactly we'll be answering, but I will let you know after I'm done. So that's a little bit of the prep. Now I'm going to actually start getting ready, and I will walk you through what I wore and how I'm going to present myself for this interview. So one thing that we ladies have to contend with is makeup or no makeup. It's so frustrating that in today's age, even though if you're working in blue collar, you're probably not going to be wearing a lot of makeup, they still are just, society expects you to wear it. So I'm just going to do an impromptu little makeup and chat through my process, as well as have some story time for you. So I'm using CC cream, just basic, covering up my face. In my previous job, I was an operations manager for an event company, and so I actually got to hire people and conduct interviews. And I will say, I don't know if this is going to be bad, but we had a job that we were hiring for where it required some heavy lifting, some labor, and when we got to the final 2 interviewers, unfortunately, one of them we interviewed had super duper long nails and super duper long lashes. We couldn't picture her being in the job that we needed her to be in because of her outward appearance. So it sucks. Ladies, we get judged all the time. There's no good, there's no right, there's no wrong way of doing things. Just from my experience interviewing, that was a bit of detriment to her. I mean, she also didn't have a great interview, but that was the big reason we kind of went with someone else, was because we couldn't picture her in the job. So for me, I really like natural, and that's what I'm going to do. Just very basic, very natural. But obviously, if you don't feel like wearing makeup, if you're not comfortable wearing makeup, don't wear makeup. And if they don't hire you because you're not wearing lipstick, then you don't want to work for them in the first place, right? Little concealer to brighten the eyes. Look at me, I am awake. Speaking of which, where is my coffee? Found it! It was in my previous filming location. That's it. What is happening? Oh, you twist. Okay. I'm gonna polish my shoes because I'm wearing these boots. I feel like they're sturdy. The whole rule of thumb is like you always dress one step above what you're wearing to the job. So I feel like nice solid boots that look professional are the way to go. And I'm gonna polish them. A little comparison. Harder to see on camera, but this is the polished one. She fancy.
Conductors versus insulators. We know insulators have high resistance. They keep electricity from moving. Conductors have low resistance and allow electricity to move through them easily. Is that even the filament in a light bulb changes its resistance significantly when it heats up.
So I specifically asked if there was anything I needed to bring. They said no, but I'm just me, so I'm gonna be bringing my resume. I did bring my little like info pack that I'd made for myself, and then I also printed the actual job posting itself and brought that along. I got my cute little laptop backpack, matches my belt. Fashion. And then I'm gonna bring a lint roller and my water bottle. That's it. Oh, and hot tip, if you have like certifications or training things like WMIS or forklift or whatever, I highly recommend scanning all of them and putting them in an email and saving that in your email somewhere. I like to do it when I come to a new site because they usually ask for all of the certifications. So if it's all in an email, you just send it over. They don't have to do any scanning. It's all in their system. They can save it to whatever folder they need to, and you're good to go. So I've already done that. I'm gonna make a quick snack, but before I do, I'm gonna give you a fit check. So I'm wearing an all blue suit. They are not matching, but I matched them. These pair of pants are from Uniqlo. Blazer is from Tanjay. And then just, you know, plain t-shirt underneath, brown belt, brown shoes. I feel very confident in this, which is the most important thing. I'm a suit girly. I love me a good pantsuit. This is what we're bringing. The blazer makes it fancy, but the t-shirt kind of tones it down. I feel like it's got the best of all the worlds. As I mentioned in my previous job interview outfit video, I wouldn't wear this to like a normal everyday run-of-the-mill construction job interview necessarily. It depends on the company, but for this specific one, it feels a bit more formal. And so I'm gonna dress a bit more formal. Let's make some gnocchi. Another tip for job interviews, especially if they're in the morning, is talk to yourself, because you don't want the first words out of your mouth to be at a job interview where you're more likely to have like a scratchy voice. Sometimes when I'm going, I do a little vocal warm up in the car. That's just my acting side coming out, and it makes me feel like I'm more prepared. Talk to yourself in your full voice, practice your delivery of your question, answers, whatever. Just go through some questions and answer them in your own words instead of like, oh, my greatest weakness is that I care too much. No, that ain't gonna work. My greatest weakness, I've never worked for this company before, so I'm having to learn a little bit more about their policies and how they differ, and so that will be my greatest weakness coming in. So this is kind of turning into a tip video, but that's just the way she goes. So here you have it, a tip video, as well as a get ready with me, as well as a day in the life. You're just getting the full shebang after, you know, a year of me not posting. Another tip is kind of obvious, but it's get there early. And I don't mean like get there with 10 minutes to spare. I mean like early. I personally hate feeling rushed or rushing. And you never know if there's gonna be an accident, if there's gonna be traffic, if you're gonna have trouble finding the place. I live probably 10 minutes away. My interview's at 1. I'm gonna leave here at like noon.
So I realized that my shirt had a stain on it. Well, I couldn't tell if it was a stain or a watermark, but I'm leaving now, and I would be worrying about it the whole time I drive there, so I changed my shirt.
Funnily enough, the reason I found this job was through a job fair, and I was actually wearing this shirt when I did my like initial kind of pre-screening interview. And in acting, if you go to an audition and get a callback, you're supposed to wear the same outfit, because then
they can immediately connect who's who, and it's easier to remember, like, oh, girl in the green shirt, so I'm wearing the same shirt, which maybe that logic will work in real life. I don't know.
As I suspected, I'm here very early, like half an hour early, maybe like 35 minutes early. I've been just reviewing my notes and practicing a little deep breathing exercises to center myself.
Style.
Wow, I went in there at 12:45 and it is now 2:30. It was like a 2-hour plus interview, but I think I did decently. I'll go into what they asked, my responses, and so on and so forth. I came to the beach with a little snack because I'm a grown-up. So they went through a bunch of HR questions, which I had prepared mostly. The only one that I hadn't really prepared for was they asked, was there a time when you weren't happy with your work and what did you do to fix it? I had a question or an answer prepped that was more like, when was the time you failed at work? And so I didn't use that answer, although I wish I had, because that answer I think was pretty good. I basically described the time when I did an incorrect connection and it caused an arc flash. It's a big oopsie doopsie, but I learned a lot from it, and I still carry like the piece of melted metal around with me as a reminder to like always check your connections and make sure you do things right. That answer I had was the one that I prepared and I wish I'd said. What I wanted them to know was that I have a really good attitude and a really good work ethic. I feel like I'm a very happy, positive person. And so those are the kind of people you want on a job site. And that's kind of what they said in the start, that you can teach many things, but you can't teach attitude. So I think that was conveyed. They laughed at my jokes, which was always a good sign. Some other questions they asked was, have you ever had a disagreement with a coworker and how did you resolve it? What kind of skills do you bring to this specific job posting? And then one question they asked, which I'm so happy I feel like I nailed, was they said, how did you prepare for this interview? And so I showed them my booklet of the things that I'd prepared. They were super impressed with that. So that I will be doing from henceforth, from now on. Why is my brain completely empty? I'm trying to remember what other things they asked me, but my brain is just like... I remember looking at the form or the page for resistors and what the numbers and colors mean, and I just was like, they won't ask that, and it was like one of the first questions. Damn it. There was a few that were like, draw a diagram of this, and I'm like, I didn't even have time, so I didn't even try. I just like didn't do it. But they were like, it's not really hugely important, but I think just to give you like a general sense, like, okay, you know sort of what you're doing. It's definitely a pay cut, but it's more of a career job. So I kind of have some decisions to make. If you have any questions about the process or advice on interviewing, let me know. Now that I'm back kind of in the electrical world, I'm going to be trying to post more regularly. Let me know if you have any requests for videos. I'm happy to take requests and get some ideas. I have some kind of ideas in the pipeline, but we will see what the future holds. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell because I post ring the bell because I post very infrequently, and so you'll always be notified if I ever post something new. Yeah. Okay, bye.